Are you really good at what you do, yet you keep losing business to competition? You keep losing clients to other agencies, you keep getting passed on for promotions, you keep losing. And you wonder to yourself, what is it that they have that you don't? If that's the case, my friends, chances are you are making this one simple mistake that I'm going to share in this video. I used to make it. Most of my clients make it and I get them to fix it straight away. This mistake literally means the difference between making $2,000, $5,000 a month to $20,000, $50,000 a month. And in this video, I'm not only going to share the mistake with you, but I'm going to teach you how you can fix it right now. So let's get started. Hey guys, my name's Yahya, founder and creator of Record Breaker, where I help you shatter past your highest ever revenue numbers by unleashing the power of your mind in the shortest amount of time. I just finished interviewing my client Luke, who's been consistently making $16,000 for 3 months straight. He's more or less made more than 50 grand right now. And he said, Yahya, although I've been doing it again and again and again, I have a history of 3 months, 1 quarter of achieving this result. I'm having trouble believing it. I'm doubting if I will continue to do this or not. Another client of mine, Stefan, crossed the $50,000 mark in less than 3 months. He made $25,000 plus in just 1 month. Same thing. Yahya, I'm having trouble believing it. So let's dive deeper into belief, because that sentence nails it. Back in the day, when I was promoted above my peers, above other people more senior than me, older than me, more experienced than me, I was promoted to head a division that I grew to $10 million in 1 year. I couldn't believe it. And because I couldn't believe it, I found it really, really hard. I struggled with the thought. I couldn't believe the fact that I was so young and I was given such great responsibility. I couldn't believe that people perceivably smarter, more experienced than me were not given that opportunity. I also couldn't believe that I grew the division by 45%, which was back then the highest recorded growth in the entire company. And because I couldn't believe it, I started sabotaging it. Doubt started to creep in. I started second-guessing everything. I started challenging my team on needless things that I didn't need to do. I started spending my time and attention in areas that I didn't need to. I became tightly wound. I was stressed out of my mind. To the outside world, I was running a $10 million successful business. On the inside, it seemed to me like I was steering a sinking ship and doing everything in my power to prevent it from sinking. This is when I had my first panic attack. Anxiety stepped in. Panic was through the roof. I couldn't drive my car because I thought I'd have an accident or I'd faint. I couldn't get on a plane because I thought the plane would crash. I was predicting all sorts of illogical, irrational things, but I was emotionally feeling them and I was believing them. And I was worried that if I could not control things, if I didn't get a handle on things, if I couldn't with 100% accuracy predict the future, there was going to be a bad future. Something was going to go wrong, things were going to break, and I would lose it all. I was fighting imaginary demons of my mind, and I was not only fighting them, I was predicting that I was going to lose the fight. I was going to lose the business, and worse than that, I was taking that and projecting it on my entire future. And I was saying that I'm going to lose in life. Here's why. I had never experienced success of this magnitude ever before in my life. I'd experienced smaller successes. I'd done smaller things, but never something so huge. And because I had no past reference, no history of doing something like this, my mind simply couldn't come to terms with it. So where the thought should have been, this is amazing, let's celebrate this, let's have a good time, let's go to the next step, my mind was saying, this is weird, this is ridiculous, I don't know how I achieved this, the stars must have aligned, I got lucky, I don't think I'm going to be able to replicate it again, I better hang on for dear life or I'm going to lose it all. That was thought. My emotional state, instead of being happy, joyful, exhilarated, excited, inspired, was fearful, negative, dejected, frustrated, despair. Oh my God, I'm going to lose it all. I had gone from being experimental and objective in my business to being highly, highly emotional and volatile. I had moved from a very abundant approach to a very contracted approach. My growth mindset was replaced with a highly stagnant mindset. I'd gone from thinking how I can go higher to thinking how I can maintain, hang on, save, just prevent my business from dying. How it happened, where it happened, when it happened, I have no clue. But I was living it. And so it took me a while quite a while of making a lot of mistakes to actually understand what was going on. And what was going on was that my subconscious mind couldn't come to terms with my reality. So my subconscious mind was creating things that seemed believable. So because I'd never experienced something like that before, I had also never experienced feelings associated with something like that before, but I had experienced failure. I had experienced despair, fear, and my subconscious mind was spitting those emotions right at me again and again and again, forcing me to go back. And this is why we rubber band between who we think we are and who we want to be. That's literally what happened to me. I thought I was a person who wasn't capable. I thought I was a person who couldn't achieve much. And I worked hard and I pushed myself and I did achieve, but I still didn't believe it. And because I didn't believe it, I kept going back to who I thought I was. This is what happens when we're used to thinking, feeling, behaving a certain way, because we identify with those thoughts, those emotions, and those behaviors. I understood my success on a logical level. I just couldn't accept it on an emotional level. And I couldn't speak to anybody about it because there was nobody in my situation at that point in time. And so this is what started my journey into reprogramming my subconscious mind, essentially upgrading it, leveling it up, raising my standards to be the person I was meant to be, I was on my way to becoming, and stop being the person I had been. And so there's, broadly speaking, two ways to go about it. One is to consciously work at it, which is not a good way. It's actually a pretty bad way, and that's why most people fail. When people try to consciously change who they are, they usually fail. That's why people who've been obese their whole lives, when they try to go on a diet and consciously shift into being a healthier version of themselves, they usually fail. That's why people who've been poor their whole lives and all of a sudden win the lottery, make a lot of money, lose the money because their subconscious isn't ready to handle that sort of money. So they blow it because they're still acting, feeling, thinking like a poor person. What does a poor person do when they get a lot of money? Save it or blow it. Because they clearly, in their head, they know, I didn't do this. I'm not worthy. I'm not capable. I will never do this again. So I better make the most of it, or I better save it for a rainy day. And boom, what does a rich person do when they make more money? They invest it. They use it. They make even more money from that. Their mind doesn't for a second go into, what if I lose it? It doesn't for a second go into, I'm not worthy of this. This is never going to happen again. Never for a second does it go to, I better blow this on useless stuff, which your boy certainly did. I blew my money the first couple of times I made it on useless junk, useless technology and watches and this, that, and the other. Things I didn't need, but I'd always kind of desired. And because my mind was like, oh, well, this is random happenstance. You're not responsible for it. Why don't you buy that one thing that you've always wanted to buy? Instead of intelligently investing the money or using the money. No, it took me a while, probably the better part of a decade, to understand this concept, to understand how to subconsciously reprogram my mind so that I stopped doing it. I stopped sabotaging myself and actually held on to the money I made. Now, I'm going to save you the decade that I spent learning all of this, and I'm going to share with you my 3R model on how you can fix it right now. So the 3R model works on shifting the lens through which you see yourself and the lens through which you see the world. It shifts your perspective. This is something I did for myself. This is something I do for all my clients, and I hope it helps you. The first R is recognize the belief. You're supposed to recognize, where is this behavior coming from? The fearful thoughts, the what if I lose it, the fearful emotions, the stress, the panic, the anxiety of, oh my God, am I going to be able to hang on to this? Like, recognize, where is this coming from? There's usually a set of underlying beliefs that are driving those thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. So you can ask yourself statements like, am I driving my future or am I a slave to my past? Another question you can ask yourself is, when I think of my success and everything I have today, does my mind go to a dark place? Am I afraid of losing it? Or does my mind go to a good place and I'm happy and grateful for having it all? Is my state of mind that of apprehension, or is my state of mind that of anticipation? Another question you can ask yourself, or you can do a check, is, what is my emotional state? Am I afraid? Am I sad that it's going to go away? Or am I excited about what I'm going to build with it? So that's R number one, recognize the belief. The second R is reclaim your success. You can ask yourself questions like, what are some of the times in my life that something has seemed almost unachievable? It seemed impossible, and I've achieved it. I've gone against all odds, and I've achieved it. I've won. Regardless of whether you made money or you won a race in school or a competition in high school or you got a job or a raise, doesn't matter. Lost weight, doesn't matter. As long as it's a situation where you overcame a challenge against odds and you found yourself in a position of success and victory. Now ask yourself how it made you feel. And right now, if you're in a dejected state of mind, chances are you're going to be like, it makes me feel afraid. I got lucky. The stars aligned for me. I just randomly got lucky. I'm a loser. I've never achieved anything. So I got lucky. Now understand that if that's your reaction, that's a knee-jerk dissociative thing that you're doing right now because you've probably been feeling pretty bad about yourself. That's not a real answer. Go deeper. You probably felt exhilarated at that point in time. You probably felt fantastic. You probably felt great about yourself. You felt brave, victorious, courageous. Those are good feelings to feel. And now ask yourself, what if, contrary to what you thought, you didn't get lucky? What if it wasn't a fluke? What if the stars didn't align and you actually caused it to happen? Does that change the way you see the event? Does that change the way you feel about yourself? It changes the way you process your past. It helps you put your past in the correct perspective. The third R is to take that success and project it on your future, just like all of us do, just like you were doing, taking past failures and being like, oh my God, I screwed up my last business. I'm going to mess this one again, right? That's what we do. We look at the past, we see what bad things happened and transpired there, and we project them on the future. Do the exact same thing, except this time with your success. Take that great, amazing feeling, flash it on your future. I was able to win that race. I was able to lose that weight. I was able to get that job, and I'm able to do this thing right now, right here. And I'm going to do it again and again and again. Here, you can use statements like, if I can do it then, I can most definitely do it now. What it's going to do is it's going to change your confirmation bias. It's going to change the evidence that you see in your life to support your past. It's going to change your thought process. And you're going to go from thinking, I cannot, to I can. You're going to do a 180-degree flip in the way you think about the situation. That's the first thing. The second thing is you're going to start looking forward to what you're going to do. You're going to start looking forward to the success. You're going to start anticipating it. This is going to change your neurochemical response. It's going to change your emotional state. It's going to change your entire being into not just that of someone who's dejected, who's fearful, who's anxious, who's stressed, but instead somebody who's got complete control, complete command, crystal, laser-like focus and clarity on the road forward with strong support of proof of that from the past, just going 100 miles per hour towards your destiny, towards your future. And when this happens, you're finally going to start behaving. You're going to start showing up like the person who deserves that success, like the person you were meant to be, like your real true self before your subconscious mind took over. Guys, this is a brilliant process. I've used it for most of my life. I use it with every single client of mine to shift their states instantly. I used it in my life to build $1 million business and dramatically transform my physique, lose weight, build muscle at the same time. I'm going to link that video right here for you to check it out if you're interested more in identity shifting. And that's it, boys and girls. Hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm out of here. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.